Welcome back. Here to talk with us today about how to be a seasonal investor. We're joined by Gabe Brockers. He's with Edward Jones. Hello, Gabe. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Mary Grace. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I don't have any complaints. The weather's been pretty beautiful for this change of seasons.
It has been. We're talking about a change of seasons. You know, we're transitioning from summer to fall. Leaves will start changing, temperatures changing, but we can also experience different seasons of investing in various aspects of our lives, Gabe. So that's what we're talking about today, Gabe. What are the seasons of an investor's life and how should we be responding to them?
Great question. So similar to what we're experiencing now, kids going back to school, we're running into the end of the summer months and we're going to roll into fall here pretty quick. There's different seasons in our life. The things that we think about and prioritize as our goals and things to accomplish are different in our 20s than they are in maybe our earlier middle years, yet different again in our later middle years, and then once again different once we hit our retirement years. So those are the seasons that we're discussing in terms of the life seasons, or if we're dealing with a seasonal play on words.
Right. All right. So let's talk about the season of our 20s.
So when individuals are in their 20s, traditionally they're just getting out of school. Maybe they've got some school debts that they need to be saving towards the payoff of. Ideally, we all have heard of the American dream, which is to become a homeowner. So the thinking is that people would be wanting to try and save or invest towards home ownership and the down payment on that home. And we must not forget that eventually most people don't want to have to get up and go to work every day, which means we need to be thinking about those longer term goals like retirement. Now, in your 20s, when you've got some debts and you've got limitations to your income as you're just starting your career, most likely more of your focus has got to be on the shorter term needs or wants. And so it's very important that you prioritize your financial goals. If there's a goal to become a homeowner, maybe we need to put a little bit more of our money towards that shorter term goal than we would the longer term goal like retirement.
Excellent. So your 20s, you're starting off, you've got some limitations, but we're focusing on short term goals, mainly as we're getting our feet under us. What's the next season?
So then as we hit our 30s and maybe early 40s, that's what we would refer to as our early middle years of life. At that point, hopefully you've got into that first home. Hopefully you've paid down some of those school debts or maybe even all of them. And then more than likely, maybe you've found a significant other, you've had some children, and now we're starting to think about education savings for the kids' future education needs. And so at that time, a little less emphasis on debt payoffs like your education, a little bit more emphasis on saving towards your kids' education, maybe even a little bit more emphasis in comparison to your 20s towards saving towards retirement as you're moving a little closer to those years.
All right. And then we're kind of getting into our later middle years. What does a seasonal investor look like for that time period?
So hopefully as you're in your later middle years of life or your higher income years, as I would refer to it, you're reaching the peak of your career advancement and therefore your income. Ideally, you've paid down more of your debts. Hopefully school loans are gone. Maybe we're lucky enough to have the mortgage paid off. At that time, the kids may be out of school, and so your primary focus hopefully is shifted towards advancing savings towards your retirement, which is right around the corner, right on the horizon.
Right. And you mentioned retirement. What about when you get into retirement season?
So all along that track and that trend from your 20s to your retirement years, early on, you want to be growth focused with your investments and have a willingness to take on a little bit more risk with your strategies to make a higher growth rate, hopefully, on the performance of your money. As you get closer to retirement, you shift some of that risk down. And as you shift into retirement, that's when you should shift it a little bit more and have probably a better balance to your asset mix. Some of the focus being on income investments, as in retirement, you are going to be craving income. And yet some of your asset mix still needs to be focused towards future growth needs or future income needs by owning some things that can provide that present growth for your future income needs.
Right. So we're talking about seasons because there's all different things you're focusing on through these different stages of your lives. This is kind of the traditional investing and financial track through our lives. Gabe, how can we get in touch to make sure we're prepared for whatever financial season we're in?
So I appreciate you asking. We're located on the South Belt down near the Tractor Supply and the Walmart. You can find us online and find a good phone number. You can pop in and introduce yourselves, and we can gather some information and set a follow-up time to meet, or using any of the electronic means to hunt us or hunt us down in terms of Internet of Things.
Excellent. Well, Gabe Rockers with Edward Jones. Gabe, thanks again for joining us today.
Thank you guys again for having me and allowing me to sponsor this segment. Hope everybody can have a good week.
Of course, you as well.